Hi, if you're running a mastermind group and you feel unprepared every week, scrambling for topics and wondering what they're going to talk about, I'm showing you my exact document that I've been using for 26 years to take that problem out of the way. And this is the very same system I've used for 26 years that will make it happen for you. You will get a look behind the scenes where your members will think you're psychic. All right, if you know already now that you'd like to know a little bit more about this, there's a link for you right in the description that you can click on. So go there right now. If not, continue watching and I'll teach you more. So let's dive right in. You go around the room and ask, what wins have we had? Start with something positive with your group. That's what I always suggest you do. Then look at what commitments that each member made. So you hold each other accountable. That's also very, very important, and it engages people every time because now you need to answer to 4 or 5 other people that knows what you said, because it's all going to be written down in your Google Doc so you can track back who did what and who didn't do what and why. And if they're struggling with this, getting things done, what are they struggling with? How can the group help? And what kind of support do they need? This is a support group. It's not a getting reprimanded group. So do remember that. And you want to keep the note on a positive note. So that's why you want to start with wins. That's why you want to start with what help do they need? What support do they need? And how did they accomplish it? So that falls off onto other people as well, right? So let's say the turn comes to you. What do you need help with? What have you learned? Can you maybe open up with something where you admit a fault or be vulnerable? Because that opens up the floor for other people to also share. And that's a nice way to do it if you are, I wouldn't say you're the leader because there's not one leader in a mastermind group per my book, the whole group is, but somebody needs to take initiative. And since you're here, you're going to be the one that's going to learn and start your mastermind. You want to be the one that opens up the floor for a little bit of vulnerability and what you're struggling with. Then other people also will feel more comfortable with that way. That's how it always is. So you can also go into documenting how you maybe got through some difficulties and what you did, or maybe you reached out to somebody outside of the group and they helped you solve it, or even you met with somebody in the group outside of the regular meeting hours. That's great because that shows initiative and that you actually did something to change the situation, right? Did you use any tools, any books? Did you use AI? How did you get through it? Did you watch any videos that they were inspiring that you can share with the group? Hint, hint, copy those links, have them ready in your notes and drop them in the chat when you are on the meeting. And one of the things I always do during the week leading up to the next meeting, or when we're just done with a meeting, I take down notes of things that I want to cover next time. And during the week, I may come up with questions or things I want to talk about, or I want to ask a person that if they can meet with me outside the group. I write those things down and I think about, okay, how can this be of help to other people in the group too? Which actually is something that happened last time I was on a call. I had a meeting with a CEO of a company. And I knew that this could benefit at least 2 or 3 other people, and especially one. So I said, make sure you connect with him on this. So I had that in my notes, and that's currently happening right now. And so I will make sure to follow up on that because those will be in my notes. So I have basically a Word document, and the newest notes goes on top, and I date them. And I write like who talked, let's say Chung talked, and I say what points is he covering in his talk, because we get to speak about 15 minutes each. And then I have my section, Alf, where I need to cover things or give certain things and remember to ask for other things. So I have notes on each person for each time. And when somebody drops a link or a resource or whatever that they learned, which happens almost every time, I take those links and put them into my document. Because guess what? I can search by keywords later on in that Word document and I could find things way back when. So I have really, really long Word documents. Some of them are so long I had to start over again on a new document. And then I can just search for that later. But that is a very, very important thing to do because it helps me stay focused. I know what's been talked about. I'm a good listener. I don't talk over somebody that's when they're presenting. I go back basically when they are kind of rounding things out, or I feel that I can jump in. I say, hey, how about this? Or how about that? Or have you thought about this? Or I can maybe help you with a contact here or there. Okay, so that's very, very important. That's my go-to solution for having active and proactive and solid mastermind meetings. And since we have access to AI today, which is so much different than a Google search, You can also take some of these questions into the group and ask AI for that help. I actually have a tool that I'm using right now, which is phenomenal. I start the recording. It's called Hedy, Hedy. I started recording on the start of the mastermind, and it actually can give me summaries of what's being talked about in terms of, okay, what is a good question to ask right now? I can have that prompt. I actually have that prompt preloaded in, and I can just press a button. And what is a good question to ask this person now? Or what seems to be the struggle? Or what solutions can I offer this person right now? And that's phenomenal. And it's actually live when I am there. Now, one thing I've said before, be careful to not get distracted by tools like that, because you've got to stay very present, especially very present when other people are talking. That's when you want to pay attention. But to have a Hedy in the background, but it also transcribes the entire meetings for us. It takes the audio, and it also talks about speaker 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it's starting to get better and better at software, but it's phenomenal software. So suggest you using something like that. So when it comes to accountability, people, okay, so I'm working on, somebody may say, oh, I'm working on so-and-so, and I'm doing this and that. And we may want to then ask, okay, when you're working on this, what is your goal to completing this? Or are there any tasks that you need to make sure that you bring it home? Or if there's a list or an email or a website or something they need to update, try to help each other to hold each other accountable. So make it time specific, measurable, and also that they believe they can achieve it. So, and then write it down in a document that everyone has access to online, so that they actually write it down, and we can go right back to it in our Google Drive and say, hey, last week you said so and so, how does that coming along? That's very important. Those kind of things don't happen in other large mastermind groups, because there are just too many people. When you have 10, 15, 20, 30, you can't get to that level. When you're following my format of 4 to 6, you certainly can. And we are doing it over and over and again. And then as a facilitator, I hate to call that too, I'm not the facilitator in group, I'm the timekeeper. So I say when somebody has 2 minutes left or what have you. And I also watch out so nobody butts into their time with their questions. Now you can ask the group, what are other things that we should be discussing around this? Are somebody having any resources? Did somebody go to a seminar or a webinar online, or read a book or took a course? What is it that we can do to enhance the situation? And do they want to present something like that? And once in a while, it happens that one person may have an emergency, and other people might relinquish their time just to give that to them, so that we can focus in and help them at that moment. And if we don't go over time, we stick to an hour and a half. We never go over an hour and a half, because that's a kind of a golden rule. You don't want to start drifting in and getting off topic. And that's why the timekeeper's job is, I wouldn't say difficult, but you got to stick to it and make sure people show up on time and stay present. And that's why I also like video conferencing, because you can't just mute out and you've got other things going on in the background. Get your kids out of the way. Don't do it in an area where you can't talk freely and have privacy. That's very important. So all of this said, is there somebody in the group that needs extra support? Are there somebody that we can do certain things for? We can ask them, what do you need help with? Or what would help you help yourself? Meaning, what can we do to help you? So we ask those questions sometimes too, because we have resources and we have ideas and we see things from different points of views. So this happens over and over again, and that really comes in and lifts everyone up, and we all help each other. So then there's a few key questions that you can ask yourself and the group every time. The first one is, what does each person need every week? Number 2, what pattern is repeating for them every week that they would like to stop? And how do you stop that? And number 3, who in the group hasn't connected with one another that should? And number 4, what truth needs saying but said with love? Number 5, what resource would accelerate everyone's progress? And the last one, 6, how can you make this meeting unmissable? It's kind of a weird word. I haven't used that word before, but like, how do you how do you not want to miss this mastermind meeting? I think that's another way better to say it. And then, of course, we need to celebrate our wins. What kind of wins did we have? That's what the meeting started with. And maybe you want to end the meeting with saying, okay, what is your win that you want to create for next week? What is that what is that looking like for you? For us to state that individually is great, because then other people know, oh, okay, Chung was looking for this, or Peter was looking for that. What is he going to do to accomplish that? And or even a better question, how can I help them achieve that faster and more efficiently and with more power and more success? How can I help that? Then another thing I think is important to go around the room and check in with people. Who's reading what book? What courses or videos have they watched that's really useful? What memberships may have they joined? Did you take notes from that book or from that seminar that you can share? What are the 80-20 rule thing that you can give away? Meaning, give away the 20% that gives you 80% of the results. That's usually how you want to attack any kind of meeting or seminar that you've been to, even a book. Dissect the 20% that gives you the 80% result, not the 80% that only give you 20% of the result. That's very important. So this is a little bit about what we do in our mastermind. And it is so amazing to be in a group like that, because you feel close, you care, you share things that you normally wouldn't even get to share in another regular group. And it's very important that you keep it on topic and be focused. Now, many people wonder, oh, do we all need to be doing the same thing? No, not at all. I'm in 3 different mastermind groups right now. One of them has been since 2004, so over 20 years. And we're all different entrepreneurs in totally different businesses, but we help each other by bouncing ideas and insights with each other. I'm in another group that's focusing on Amazon. That's been around since 2012, almost 15 years now. Some of and here's an interesting thing. Even 1 or 2 people in the Amazon group have switched industries, but they're still in the group because they add value. They're still online, and we're all online. So using different tools, and we all have cross things that we help each other with. And sometimes that inspires other people to go into other niches as well. So it's not like if you're just only doing one business each. We usually have a couple businesses going at least. So those are the kind of things you want to talk about. And how can you make that more valuable for everyone that shows up? And being in a small group is really the launchpad for making a group like this healthy and staying alive for so long, and caring about all the other members. There's nothing like it. So this was just a little bit of a day in the life of a mastermind instigator such as myself, and hopefully such as you, where you can lead the meeting, and in a sense that being, you lead by example, by taking notes, asking good questions, do follow-up questions, care about what the others are covering and what they're doing, and figuring out how you can help them just as much as you need to help yourself. And that's really what it's all about. If you are not the best person at being a timekeeper, send that role to somebody else. Another person in a group used to record the audio and the transcription. Now I'm doing that, but that's because I have the AI software. So if you want to rotate this, which is a good thing to do, because one person was trying to take my role as a timekeeper. Oh my God, he hated it. And of course, I'm not going to push him to do that. I enjoy it. I'm fine with it. And sometimes it's a little tough to cut somebody off, but you got to do it. But that's just, if it's not for you, then pass it on to somebody else. Nothing to be afraid of. So hopefully this gave you a little insight as to how we could run a mastermind and how you could run it. But we all have different takes on it and different styles. So, but I just wanted to give you a little flair. So anyway, great to have you here. If you want to know more how to do it yourself, because there's so many things that goes into building the mastermind and all these other nicks and tricks, so then comment below on the link, and I'll see you on the other side. And as I always do, have a high five, and here you go. Go make it happen.